An Italian investigative program claims there may have been a private agreement involving Melania Trump and a man connected to both her past and to Jeffrey Epstein. And they say they have something unusual to back it up: a recorded phone call. Melania has always denied it, but Rye 3 has a recording of Zampoli's voice that speaks of having offered, precisely at Melania Trump's request, to cover her back before the 2016 elections. In New York City, on one of the most expensive streets in the world, there's a mansion originally built for the Macy's department store heir, Vincent Astor. It remains one of the largest private residences ever constructed in the city. Above the entrance, a stone mask was carved into the facade, a bearded face, part myth, part symbol, intended, according to architectural accounts, to ward off misfortune. For more than 2 decades, powerful political and business figures are known to have moved through Epstein's network, alongside numerous young women whose later testimonies became central to federal investigations. Today, the property remains closed to the public, but parts of the FBI's investigative files, long sealed, have gradually entered the public record. And within those documents are references that extend beyond Epstein himself, including mentions of an Italian figure who now serves as a special envoy for Donald Trump, Paolo Zampolli.
Per ultimo, se non stai negli Epstein file non sei nessuno. Ma li hai letti gli Epstein file?
Quelli che riguardano lei li ho letti
Perfetto,
tutti.
cosa c'è di male? Epstein non era mio amico.
E come vi siete conosciuti con Epstein?
Ma Epstein, chi non conosceva Epstein? Conoscevano tutti Epstein, andava in giro per il mondo con gli aerei privati, con i principi, i re, Bill Gates, Bill Clinton. Hai visto la lista? È stato conosciuto, è stato presentato, non siamo mai andati d'accordo. Infatti non mi ha mai neanche invitato sull'isola.
Zampolli started out running a modeling agency, recruiting women globally from Brazil to Eastern Europe. He later moved into real estate and eventually became part of the orbit of Donald Trump. Today he holds diplomatic roles linked to the Trump administration. Here's a resurfaced clip of Trump greeting him.
Hey, my man!
Lei adesso è un pezzo grosso del governo americano, cioè il suo incarico è paragonabile a quello di Steve Witkoff o di Jared Kushner, cioè ha incarichi importanti per l'amministrazione Trump. Come ha fatto ad ottenere questo incarico?
Cosa vuol dire? Queste sono decisioni del Presidente degli Stati Uniti d'America. Il Presidente decide quello che vuole lui. Ha pensato che potevo servire.
Come è arrivato ad essere così vicino alla famiglia Trump?
Per cosa lo sappiamo benissimo. Io conosco il precedente da 30 anni e loyalty is king. E il Presidente degli Stati Uniti, questi si chiamano political appointment. Dunque adesso io non ho mai avuto un capo in vita mia e ne ho 2. Uno si chiama Presidente degli Stati Uniti d'America, il secondo si chiama Segretario di Stato Marco Rubio, che va benissimo, è fantastico. Meglio di così non potevo.
Aside from loyalty, Zampoli's resume doesn't offer much else to explain his political rise. Before his role with Trump, Zampolli had managed a modeling agency, then worked in real estate at the Trump Organization until he ended up at the United Nations as ambassador of Dominica, a small Caribbean island. Zampolli manages to have his ex-partner, Amanda Ungaro, appointed as ambassador to the United Nations, whose only qualification was being a model, and to obtain a diplomatic visa for her, he was willing to pay cash to the then Prime Minister of Grenada, Keith Mitchell. At the time when Zampolli met Epstein, he was still a modeling agent recruiting models around the world from Brazil to Eastern Europe. In an FBI report entered into the record, a former model of Zampoli's agency describes him as a sleazy person who would go out with the models he was supposed to present. Also, in an email exchange, a person mentions him in a list of names labeled as killers. Zampolli denies this and ever traveling to Epstein's island. Among the documents released by the DOJ, there is also an FBI deposition of a former personal assistant of Epstein who states on record that it was not Zampolli who introduced Melania Trump to Donald Trump, as he has always claimed, but the PDF file financier himself. Then comes the most controversial part. Zampoli's former partner, Amanda Ungaro, claims there was an agreement between him and Melania.
Lo spinge. Tra loro c'è un patto, ne sono sicura al 100%.
L'ipotesi è che lei abbia...
According to her, the purpose was to protect secrets from the past. These statements by Amanda Ungaro have shaken the White House. Until now, there was no proof of this pact, but report managed to find it.
It all goes back to 2016 when the British tabloid Daily Mail published an investigation into Melania's past, accusing her without evidence of having worked as an escort. Melania Trump obtained the removal of the article and a multi-million-dollar settlement. Zampolli's public statements were crucial to the settlement. The program then presents what it calls its strongest piece of evidence, a recorded phone call.
I wrote a paper for the press, the First Lady used what I wrote in her speech and stuff like this. With the Daily, they just win a huge case. I cannot talk about it because I have a confidentiality and I need to get the check. We just won it last week. And I'm in this country because of President Trump. Job. I started real estate. I built a beautiful house. Trade a friend.
The Daily Mail article Paolo Zampolli is referring to was published in 2016 and at the time became a controversial moment in political and media reporting with a range of disputed allegations circulating publicly. It had not been fully retracted and the legal process around it was still unfolding. If you want a full breakdown of what was claimed and what was later challenged and how the reporting evolved, I've linked that analysis below. In this phone call that report obtained, made in 2017, Zampolli is speaking with one of his contacts connected to the United Nations. He revealed that Melania Trump would have guaranteed him protection in exchange for his defense and pushing away possible shadows over her past. This is exclusive audio that report has uncovered.
Trump knows. He threatened his friend Paolo, which they consider his family, and his wife is not a prostitute. Maybe she has not the most fluent American accent. Maybe she poses naked like many model, but she's a good girl, okay? So you don't want nobody call your fucking wife a prostitute when she's the mother of your kid. And Melania told me, Paolo, don't worry, you have our back. Everything that happened, we'll protect, okay? Then 2 weeks later, they won the election, and that's it.
After Trump's victory in the elections, the presidential couple kept their word. Zampolli entered the inner circle of Donald Trump to the point of receiving a position of very high trust, comparable to those reserved for the president's closest family members. The investigation suggests that the Trumps upheld their end of the agreement. Through his lawyer, Zampolli last week warned Report not to broadcast. He considered his relationship with Epstein to be marginal. He also said the accusations from his ex-partner Ungaro are also false and likens them to extortion. He has also taken legal steps to challenge parts of the reporting. There's an important distinction here. Being mentioned in documents or recordings does not prove wrongdoing, and none of these claims have been tested in court. But the questions raised by this investigation remain unresolved. And in cases like this, what's missing can be just as important as what's been said. If you want to get the full background and context, don't miss my Amanda Ungaro playlist linked below. And please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. It really does make a big difference to keep content like this coming your way.